Neno hili si hivyo. Mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. Something very interesting happened to Kalonzo Musyoka yesterday. And I asked myself several questions. And one of the questions which I asked myself, and maybe you could help me answer, is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka ready for the grueling presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya in 2027? I'm asking that question because Kalonzo Musyoka had an event in Tharaka Nithi. But a few goons, in his own words, around 10 people, stopped Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's rally in Tharaka Nithi and is blaming none other than Professor Kithure Kindiki. Is Kalonzo Musyoka ready for the presidential campaigns in 2027? I want you to watch Kalonzo Musyoka being stopped by the goons. And what surprised me was the fact that after he was stopped, Kalonzo Musyoka addressed the media. And he had this to say, because in this video, I want us to ask a few questions regarding that particular event and Kalonzo Musyoka's preparedness for the 2027 presidential campaigns.
A group of 10, led by one very serious big goon, who even had the audacity to follow us all the way to Kibunga. I don't know who had paid them what, but this is a type of intolerance. We are a democracy, and people have every right. In fact, the only credit I give the people of Marimanti, nobody threw stones. Nobody said dirty things. So the only problem is that the three, actually we could count. We made it very difficult for anybody to communicate. But when he said wangapi wa WANTAM, nyinyi muliona. Yeah? So we want to discourage this habit. Kenya belongs to all of us. If this is Kindiki's home area, he should set the example, allowing people to come to his place freely. But if he's going to be the chief goon, organize goons na watu kama hivyo, how will he, as Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, how will he be received elsewhere? So it has been a very successful day. Very successful because Marimanti is of course within the Tharaka Nithi County, and the people were wonderful. In fact, we want to say, one of the things I wanted to say is Wiper Patriotic Front has designated the 10th of October as a National Delegates Congress Day.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. And in this particular video, I want us to analyze that particular incident. Before we do it, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without the support, this channel cannot be where it is. I'm actually out of town. I'm recording this video from my hotel room somewhere. I'm with the madam. Madam, salima watu leo wakuone. I'm with Madam here, and I want us to look at that Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka's incident. The first question which I want to ask you guys, is Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka ready for the 2027 presidential campaigns in the Republic of Kenya? I'm asking that question because for those who've been following this channel, I've always maintained that 2027 presidential elections in the Republic of Kenya is going to be the most expensive campaign ever in the history of the Republic of Kenya, which means presidential candidates will invest heavily in that campaign. When it comes to goonship, they will invest in it. When it comes to propaganda, they will invest in it. And the reason I'm asking this, is it right for Kalonzo, a presidential candidate coming from Kambani, to cry to Kenyans that he could not hold a rally in Tharaka Nithi? I mean, is he ready? Because that's already his weakness, which means tomorrow, Kalonzo Musyoka will organize a rally in Garissa. And someone will organize goons to stop him. What will he say again? What will he say? So for me, Kalonzo is not ready. He must up his game. As a matter of fact, if I was Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, today I would have reached out to Mike Sonko, because Sonko is a Kamba. He knows how to mobilize. Because for me, the problem yesterday was about the mobilization. What stopped Kalonzo Musyoka from reaching out to these boys and maybe paying them something to provide security during that rally? Personally, I've participated in political events, mobilization and the rest. I know how some of these things are done. For example, there's no way you can just come from nowhere and go to Kondele and hold a rally there without involving those people. It will never work. Number two, can Kalonzo Musyoka hold a successful rally in Mount Kenya without Rigathi Gachagua? Because let's face it, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka has very high chances of succeeding William Samoei Arap Ruto in 2027. But he can only succeed William Ruto if he can win the support of the people of Mount Kenya. And now he's being given a chance to go to Tharaka Nithi on his own. And he's being stopped. Do you think these goons would have stopped, for example, Rigathi Gachagua? I doubt if they would have stopped Rigathi Gachagua. So, in my view, Kalonzo Musyoka must figure out how he can start going to the ground without relying or hiding, especially in the mountain, hiding behind Rigathi Gachagua. You know, I was with Kalonzo Musyoka and Raila Odinga in NASA. In Azimio, I was not really involved so much, so I can't talk about it. But one thing I know was that when we were in NASA, the ODM side of NASA was doing a lot of work for these guys. Kalonzo, Weta, and Mudavadi were just being told, you show up for this particular rally. So it's high time for Kalonzo Musyoka to figure out how he can hold successful rallies in Mount Kenya, because without doing that, he's doomed. Number three, when will Kalonzo Musyoka set up his grassroots networks? I'm asking that question because if he had a strong grassroots networks, because I doubt if Kalonzo should be having problems having his own networks in Tharaka Nithi, for example. When will he set up the grassroots networks? Because that's the only way he can hold successful rallies. Let me give you the case of Raila Odinga and even William Ruto. If you are today to go with Raila Odinga to a place called Katwana in Tharaka Nithi, at some point we went there, Raila Odinga will use his ODM networks. And if he decides he can call the local party official there, his networks there. For Kalonzo Musyoka to win the presidency, he will have to create a national grassroots networks, his role, so that this network would have told him, boss, ukikuja leo, vita itatokea. Ama before you come, you go and sort out this matter with this guy, and this guy. I remember at some point in Homa Bay when we were campaigning for Gladys Wanga initially, we encountered goons. We had to stop somewhere. A few people had to go and negotiate with them. I remember there was this guy called Mamluki who was controlling town, and we were coming to town without telling him. That's the nature of our politics. You have to lead. You have to live by those unwritten rules. And importantly, who are Kalonzo Musyoka's point men apart from Mukambani? Does he have them? Are they telling the truth? Because this was opening a party office. Why should opening up a party office be a big issue? To an extent that is now crying like a baby to us that Kindiki of all the people should not threaten Kalonzo Musyoka. If anything, is a deputy president. Kalonzo Musyoka served as a vice president of the Republic of Kenya. So he should not threaten Kalonzo with anything. And my last question, maybe second last question, is finance the issue with Kalonzo Musyoka? That is something which Kalonzo and his team must address immediately. Because if they won't address it, Kalonzo is headed nowhere. I'm told because I was talking to someone who is deeply involved in Rigathi Gachagwa's campaign. And he was telling me that, Lee, you know, according to Rigathi Gachagua, he really wanted to support Kalonzo. But he can't carry Kalonzo on his back. So his proposal now to Kalonzo is that he's going to be the presidential candidate. Then Kalonzo Musyoka will have to choose to be either his running mate or Ajitembeza. And I told him that for me, all this boils down to one thing: finance. Kalonzo does not have enough resources. And because he does not have enough resources, he thinks that running a presidential campaign is a joke. It's not a joke. And lastly, will Kalonzo Musyoka be able to protect his votes in 2027? Let's just assume that the opposition will endorse him, and then he becomes the presidential candidate. Will he be able to protect his votes? Because the truth is, 2027, we are going to witness massive rigging by the government. And it will require someone with ability to protect the votes. Now we are talking of a presidential candidate going to a place next door and cannot address a rally. Can that person protect his votes? Let me hear your thoughts, because for me, I doubt if he will be able. Importantly, Kalonzo Musyoka must go back to the drawing board and figure out how he can start mobilizing beyond Ukambani. Because Ukambani alone will not make him the president. Kalonzo should be able to go to Kisii without Matiang'i and hold successful rally there. He should be able to go, for example, to Trans Nzoia and hold a rally without George Natembeya. Because depending on those people, in my view, is dangerous. What will happen if they decide to take a different trajectory towards the tail end of the campaigns? What will he do? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually surprised by the turn of events which I witnessed yesterday. Until next time, this is Lima Queen. Bye-bye.